Almost anyone who has lost someone close has probably had the same thought at one point. If I could just have one more conversation, if I just had a chance to ask the question I forgot to ask, one more chance to say the words I never got to say. And it's what Lilydale has been built around for nearly 150 years. Welcome to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Felice.
And I'm Andi. And we are coming to you from Key West, Florida.
Yes, we are. How's it going?
It's good. It's been so long since we recorded.
I know.
So much has changed.
But we have seen each other a ton.
Yeah.
Because we went on our trip.
It was way better than we could have imagined.
Yeah. We knew we were going to go have fun, have a girls' trip, stay at a cool hotel, go to shops.
Do some spooky things.
Do some spooky stuff. I don't think either one of us knew that we were going to love Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
100%.
The way that we did. Meet so many awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
And also just be around a lot of people who also get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Share the spooky interests, self-described and celebrated weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
And just love it. And we've talked about this several times since, but something that we really appreciated was that everybody was so comfortable just being themselves, doing their thing, and like letting their weird flag fly.
Yeah.
And we loved it.
Yeah, we loved it.
Also,
that's how we are too.
Yeah. But usually people are like, oh.
Yikes.
And something really exciting happened for the first time.
I'm like, what was it?
There were so many things.
What was it?
So picture this. We're at Obscuracon, which was the paranormal convention that we went there for. And we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But everything we experienced completely blew away any sort of like preconceived ideas or notions or expectations that we could have had.
Yes.
But something very exciting happened. Picture this. Day one, Obscuracon.
Yeah.
I'm there. We're getting some coffee, blah, blah. And this man comes up to us and he said, "Excuse me, my wife follows you guys." And she's like behind him, like smiling. And he said, "Can we get a picture?"
We were like, oh, of course.
And so we, got a picture, gave a sticker, chatted, went around the corner and danced.
Yeah, we were like, it's so exciting because we don't, we're just doing our thing and meeting cool people along the way or whatever. And so that's just exciting when somebody's recognizing your work and liking it. It felt really, really good.
It was really
so
cool.
Fun.
It was like our little moment of feeling stardom.
And we met a lot of really interesting speakers, and also the organizers for Obscuracon were amazing. They were so
Shout
kind.
out Danny.
Yes, so kind, so welcoming, and like really wanted us to be involved, and it was awesome.
So awesome. And the speakers too, like a lot of them are well known in the paranormal community and have appeared on, Discovery Channel and paranormal shows and Netflix and all of these
Ancient Alien,
my favorite mysteries. But are kind of like a big deal in the paranormal community.
Yeah.
And so we put on our big girl pants and we're brave and went and talked to them.
Yes,
and then
we did.
they became like our friends. We got contact information. We got a ride home from one of them.
Yeah, back to our hotel from him and his wife. That was so sweet.
So overall, it was just incredible. And that's not even talking about the Crescent Hotel.
Oh my gosh. And the Basin Park Hotel too. Both were amazing.
Incredible, incredibly haunted.
Incredible service, kind people, helping us out every step of the way.
It was fantastic.
It was awesome. I mean, we could probably do a whole show just about this.
We probably could. Maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we'll do one for
Patreon.
For our Patreon.
Yeah. But overall, it was just so incredible to meet so many people from the paranormal community and make so many connections. And every connection that we make helps us grow and helps more people find us.
That's right. And did you know that you can also help us continue to grow our podcast by supporting us on Patreon? Woo. We have $5 and $10 membership tiers. Every Patreon member gets a shout out and other perks. So just go to patreon.com and search You Two Scare Me podcast in the search bar.
Got it.
Yeah. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, welcome. We are two goofy girls who love to hear and tell stories about haunted houses, spirits, cryptids, all things spooky.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, though. We respect the forces that are behind all of the spooky stuff, and we know to keep a safe distance.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we're fully aware that we do not know anything or really understand what's happening with any of this stuff.
But that's okay. We keep it light as we work our way through the strange and unusual. You'll hear us laugh a little as we bring you stories that make you question and give you a chill.
Mm-hmm. A quick warning before we begin, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Our tales are drawn from folklore, history, and reported experiences, but we don't claim them as fact. Some stories may include sensitive topics, so listener discretion is advised.
Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Shall we dive in? Every summer, hundreds of people gather around an old tree stump in western New York. One by one, a medium steps forward and begins describing people they've supposedly never met. I'm getting a gentleman who keeps showing me a fishing boat. Someone whose family still argues over a clock on the mantle. Someone whose father always whistled while working in the garage.
Well, if that was a lady, it would be you.
I am a whistler, yes. Andy's always like, I never know if something's evil out there because I hear you whistling in the dark. I can't help it. My dad is a whistler too, and I got it from him. But I'm okay, don't worry. It's really me. Almost every day, someone in the audience quietly raises a hand. This all happens in a little town called Lilydale. Do you know about Lilydale?
I've been to Lilydale.
You have?
Multiple times.
You have?
Yes.
I kind of thought you might have because this seems right up your little woo-woo alley.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, I'm excited.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me kind of get into it, and
Of
then I
course.
want to hear about your experiences. Lilydale is a tiny town in western New York. People don't travel to Lilydale hoping to spend the night in a haunted room or catch a shadow moving down a hallway. They come hoping to hear from a loved one that has passed. Almost anyone who has lost someone close has probably had the same thought at one point. If I could just have one more conversation, if I just had a chance to ask the question I forgot to ask, one more chance to say the words I never got to say. Whether or not that's actually possible, the hope behind it is something that almost everybody understands. And it's what Lilydale has been built around for nearly 150 years.
I don't think I knew it was there that long.
On a warm summer day, the first thing someone might notice is just how ordinary Lilydale looks. There are old Victorian cottages shaded by huge trees, people sitting on their front porches, neighbors waving as they pass, and visitors strolling down quiet streets with coffee cups in hand. Without any context, it could pass for one of those little upstate New York towns that somehow escaped the rush of modern life. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's cutie little cottages.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Then small details start to jump out. There's a sign advertising a public message service that afternoon. Another points visitors toward the healing temple. A cottage has a chalkboard listing appointment times for private readings. Someone mentions hoping their father comes through that day. Someone else says they come back every summer because of how incredible their reading was the year before. Almost everyone here has arrived with the same unspoken question. Can I still reach the people I've lost? Lilydale's story really begins in Hydesville, New York in 1848. Two sisters named Maggie and Kate Fox claimed that they could communicate with a spirit through mysterious knocks inside their family's farmhouse. Their big sister Leah took the story and ran with it, organizing theatrical séances and public tours. Remember we heard about this at
Yeah.
Larry Flaxman's talk.
Okay, I was trying
Yes.
to remember why we were just talking about
Yes.
this. Okay.
Yeah, the Fox sisters. Their story spread across the country, launching what became known as the Spiritualist movement. Spiritualism grew remarkably quickly during the second half of the 19th century. Grieving families wanted reassurance that death wasn't the end. Others wondered whether science might someday prove that consciousness survived after the body died. Physicians, lawyers, professors, and journalists attended séances, hoping to see the evidence for themselves. And people are still doing this to this day. As the movement grew, spiritualists began organizing summer camp meetings. They were similar to the religious revivals taking place around the country, but the focus was completely different. Instead of revival preaching, people gathered to hear lectures about life and death, watch demonstrations by mediums, and spend time with others who shared those beliefs. So one of those camp meetings was held along the shores of Cassadaga Lake in western New York. In 1879, the Cassadaga Lake Free Association purchased land there and established a permanent campground for spiritualists. Families arrived during the summer, pitched tents, attended lectures and demonstrations, and then headed home when the season ended. Until some of them decided they didn't want to leave. The tents slowly gave way to cottages. More buildings were added. Dirt paths became streets. Families returned year after year until some eventually made the community their permanent home. Over time, that campground became the town we know today as Lilydale. The connection between Lilydale and the Fox sisters became even stronger in 1916 when portions of the original Fox family home were brought from Hydesville and reconstructed as the Fox Cottage.
Oh.
It created a physical link between the birthplace of modern spiritualism and the town that became its most enduring home. It's still a surprisingly small community with only a few hundred year-round residents. But every summer, thousands of visitors come through its gates. Some are lifelong spiritualists, some are curious tourists, some are paranormal investigators. Others are complete skeptics expecting to catch someone using cold reading techniques. So do you want to talk about why you went there? What were you doing there? What was going on
there? Well, it was many years ago, but my brother lived in a ski town like an hour south of Buffalo. So
Okay.
Lilydale isn't that far.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law, Tara, was like, have you ever heard of Lilydale? Like, you would love it. It's so weird. And so the one summer when I was up there, I went with a friend. And then I think like a summer or two later, I went with a different friend because it was so cool. So you pull up to a gate, you pay like a really nominal fee.
Okay.
And park. And there's only a few main streets, but just like a bunch of tiny cottages. There's a stump meeting.
Okay, don't tell us about it. I'll get to the stump meeting.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm getting to that.
But it's really cool. It has a vibe. It's got some energy. And in front of the cottages, like everybody has a little sign-up sheet with times you can go for a
Like
reading.
a reading or,
And so there are other events you can, like regularly scheduled daily events.
Okay.
I had a reading and it was phenomenal.
Those bananas.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I mean, I was in my 20s at that point. Hadn't really had,
Like much life experience.
Right, And so I actually had a recording, I don't know if I still do, of that experience. But essentially the medium told me all of these very particular details that I had no clue about until I called my parents. And it was about their parents.
Ooh.
And that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Well, put a pin in that. Maybe you'll want to come back to that. Many visitors arrive carrying framed portraits or faded snapshots of husbands, wives, parents, children, and grandparents. They're not simple keepsakes. They're carrying the person they hope a medium will recognize without ever seeing the photograph. People in Lilydale don't generally talk about spirits the way that we do on paranormal shows. They're not describing angry ghosts trapped between worlds. They're talking about relationships that continue after death. So it makes sense that you were hearing from your ancestors. If there's one place where that belief comes to life, it's Inspiration Stump, like Andi was talking about. If you visit Lilydale during the summer, somebody will almost certainly tell you to go there. It's tucked away in Leolin Woods, an old growth forest with trees estimated to be 200 to 400 years old. Some spiritualists ask for their ashes to be scattered there, and this practice is known as walking them out.
Oh, wow.
The trail itself is beautiful. Tall trees surround the path, birds chatter overhead, and people quietly make their way toward a clearing. It doesn't feel eerie at all. If anything, it's peaceful. Agree?
Yeah.
More than a century ago, a massive oak tree stood there. When it eventually died, the stump was left behind, and instead of removing it, spiritualist speakers simply continued using it as a platform. Over time, it became one of the most recognizable places in Lilydale. Today, mediums stand on that stump almost every day during the summer season, delivering public message that they believe come from the spirit world. If you've never seen one of these services, it's probably different from what you're imagining. Nobody's sitting around a candle in a dark room. There are no floating tables or mysterious knocks. It's held in broad daylight. Visitors sit on wooden benches beneath the trees while a medium stands on the stump and begins describing the person they believe is trying to communicate. Yeah. A message might begin with something like, I'm getting a gentleman who passed from heart problems. He keeps showing me a fishing boat and says someone here still has his tackle box. At first, no one responds. Then, somewhere in the crowd, a hand slowly goes up and the medium continues, adding more and more details. He says he always whistled while working in the garage and he's laughing about the old blue pickup that never wanted to start. Sometimes the person receiving the message starts crying. Sometimes they smile. Sometimes they shake their head because none of it makes sense. Then the medium moves on and the process begins again. Public message services like these have been part of Lilydale for generations, but they're only one way people have tried to communicate with the dead. In years past, visitors also attended private séances, trumpet circles, and other gatherings that would seem almost unbelievable today. One of the best descriptions of those early days comes from writer Carl Karmer, who visited Lilydale in 1936 for the New Yorker. He arrived expecting to investigate the town, but quickly realized he'd stepped into a world unlike anything he'd experienced before. As he walked through Lilydale, he noticed that nearly every cottage had a sign hanging in the window advertising some form of mediumship. One house offered trance readings, another specialized in clairvoyance. Others advertised slate writing, psychometry, or trumpet séances. He wrote that by the time he reached Inspiration Stump, he felt like he had, quote, completely shut myself off from any world I could conceive.
Ooh.
That night, he attended one of those trumpet séances. The room was plunged into complete darkness while everyone sang hymns together. When the singing stopped, Karmer wrote that he became aware of a metal trumpet suspended somewhere above the audience. Then voices began speaking through it, calling people by name and delivering messages they believed came from the dead.
What?
Sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
At one point, Karmer heard the trumpet call his own name.
I'm having a hard time picturing this trumpet.
I think it's like, it's not playing, but it's like using it as like a megaphone or something. A woman's voice told him, "We are with you and we are helping you. God bless you." Karmer never claimed he had witnessed the supernatural. In fact, he remained careful about drawing conclusions. But he did admit that when the seance ended, he, quote, walked, almost ran, to my car. And he didn't feel completely at ease until he was driving away from Lilydale. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever happened that night, it clearly stayed with him. Stories like Karmer's are part of what has made Lilydale so fascinating for generations. But they also raise an obvious question. How much of what happens here can actually be explained? If you're listening to this thinking, that sounds like cold reading, you're definitely not alone. Cold reading has been used by performers and fraudulent psychics for generations to appear remarkably accurate. Even many spiritualists acknowledge that fraud has existed within the movement. They simply believe genuine communication is also possible. So
a cold reading person would look at you and be like, I'm sensing that you have a connection with the other side, the paranormal. But like they're looking at your shirt.
Exactly. You have someone that you love dearly. They're looking at your wedding ring.
Right.
You know, things like that. They're keen observers, and then they make general statements, you know, that you're like, oh my gosh, I really do love the paranormal. Lilydale doesn't ignore the criticism. They're not claiming that every medium everywhere is genuine or every reading is accurate. They simply believe that genuine communication is possible, even if not every attempt succeeds. It's like that in every field, right? You're going to have people that are great at what they're doing, people who are maybe faking, people who are not great at it, or maybe somebody's having a bad day, you know.
I think that's like a hot topic right now too in paranormal investigative field.
For sure.
And so there's kind of a divide between people who are truly interested in exploring and figuring out things, debunking, like looking for what's behind this observed action. And then people who everything is a haunting, a demon, this or that, and it's for like the likes, and
they're willing
attention.
To create, maybe using AI, maybe using sounds or tricks of photography or audio or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not. This isn't a new discussion in any of this kind of paranormal field, for sure.
But what I think sucks is though, like, that there are so many people who care about these topics, right? About mediumship or about paranormal investigating or whatever. And those few bad apples, you know, really, what do I say? Like,
spoil the whole bunch.
Poison the whole thing, you know,
of course.
And so then people are doubtful of anything that may be authentic.
Of course. Also, it's like that across every section of life, you know. A single unusual experience is easy to dismiss. The medium may have gotten lucky, they may have picked up on subtle clues, or coincidence may have filled in the blanks. But Lilydale has welcomed visitors every summer for nearly a century and a half, and many of those visitors return year after year. So there is something to it, for sure.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think that Lilydale vets their mediums, and so they have to have kind of a proven track record of success. It can't just be like Felice saying, I'm a medium now. Hey, I'd like to come to Lilydale. They're like, no, we need to see your record of, you know, services, and you have to have been around for a while and like, and accurate.
Yeah. They're not taking any riffraff.
Right.
Riffraff mediums. The mediums at Lilydale often say the strongest evidence isn't someone's name or how they died. It's the little things. A family nickname, an inside joke, a memory so specific that it instantly takes someone back to a moment they hadn't thought about in years. One woman described attending a public message service with no expectation of being called on. According to her account, the medium pointed in her direction and began talking about an older gentleman who was apparently amused that no one in the family had fixed the clock on the mantle. Afterwards, she explained that when her father died, the family argued about whether to repair that clock or leave it exactly as he had left it. It wasn't some dramatic revelation. It was an ordinary family memory that she couldn't imagine a stranger knowing. It's all of those things, right? Stories like that are what people remember. Nobody leaves talking about a medium correctly guessing that their grandfather wore glasses. They remember the tiny details that seem uncannily specific. One person recalls hearing about an old pocket knife hidden away in a toolbox after a father's death. Another says that a medium mentioned a cookie jar that had been broken by one of the grandchildren decades earlier.
Still remember that, Grandma.
Yeah. To the people who experienced these moments, those details were what convinced them that something unusual had happened. The stories don't end at Inspiration Stump. As you continue through Lilydale and make your way back toward the center of town, you'll eventually come to the Maplewood Hotel. It's been welcoming guests since 1880, and at first glance, it looks exactly like the kind of grand old hotel you'd expect to find in a Victorian resort town. Rocking chairs on the porch, people gathering outside to talk. It's like the perfect place to sit for an afternoon. But hanging in the lobby is a sign that says, no séances or readings or healings allowed.
None.
I feel like if you have to put up a sign like that, there's probably a reason. There's got to be a story, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, haven't we been somewhere where it said no Ouija boards?
I think so.
And we were like,
wonder what happened here. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. The hotel also houses one of Lilydale's most famous artifacts, a portrait known as Azur. Spiritualists believe it's a precipitated painting, meaning it wasn't painted in the traditional sense, but appeared through mediumship through a séance in 1898.
What does that mean?
I think they were having a séance and this thing got painted. I don't know. Skeptics have offered possible explanations over the years, while believers point to eyewitness accounts from those who said they watched the image gradually appear on a blank canvas.
That would be wild.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Let's try that. Next time we're here, we're going to put a blank canvas and just see what.
I don't know how good our mental drawing skills are. Oh my gosh. More than a century later, the painting still stands in the Maplewood's Azur room, where visitors often stop just to quietly look at it and decide for themselves what they think.
What is it? I want to see
don't
it.
know. What
Oh
is
my
it?
gosh.
It looks like spirit. Oh, it's like of a spirit.
Weird.
So it looks like it's a man. We can try to put this on our website, but it's a man in white robes.
Mm-hmm.
He has one hand in front of him.
That's very
one
good.
hand up in an L. He's like this. I don't know. And he has a beard, and he's like an old guy. I don't know.
Weird.
Anyway, so there you have it. All right. Places like the Maplewood Hotel and the Healing Temple are reminders that Lilydale isn't a haunted attraction. It's a living community where these beliefs are practiced every day. Some visitors describe feeling an overwhelming sense of peace in the woods. Others become emotional without really knowing why. There are stories of people smelling a familiar perfume or cigar smoke with no obvious source, or hearing someone call their name when nobody's nearby. Of course, psychologists point out that experiences like these are surprisingly common among people grieving the loss of someone they love. They're known as bereavement experiences, and by themselves, they don't necessarily point to anything supernatural. It's easy to understand why those experiences take on a different meaning in Lilydale. When you're surrounded by people who believe communication is possible, it's hard not to wonder if that unexpected scent, sudden memory, or unexplained feeling means something more. If you visit the Lilydale Assembly website today, you will find a full calendar of lectures, workshops, healing services, message demonstrations, and special events throughout the summer. You can browse the schedule, sign up for classes, and even search through a directory of registered mediums if you'd like to book a private reading. The Assembly says its mediums are tested and vetted through both the organization and the Mediums League before they're listed.
Yeah.
Every summer, people continue to pass through Lilydale's gates, hoping to hear one more message from someone they've lost. Maybe that's why the town has survived while so many other spiritualist communities have disappeared. It isn't famous because everyone agrees about what happens there. It's famous because nobody does. Some people leave convinced they've experienced something extraordinary. Others believe psychology, coincidence, or wishful thinking explain everything they saw. Whatever the answer, people have been making the same trip for nearly 150 years, hoping for one more conversation with someone that they love. Whether they find it is something each visitor has to decide for themselves. One thing that I left off of the Fox sisters story is that they did turn out to be frauds.
Right.
So they were making sounds, like knocking sounds, they were cracking their toe joints.
Which, I mean, that is some serious cracking.
And so it's understandable why people would question what's happening there. But I always think, and we go back to this all the time, that when something or people are doing something or searching for something repeatedly, there's usually something to it. You know, people are finding meaning there. And also a lot of these readings or whatever, sure, you can guess certain things about somebody.
Absolutely.
But there are times when there's just no way. And it's not like, you know, you might go to a show and there are people planted in the audience, and that's terrible and wrong. But I would think that a lot of these people are having real experiences where they're getting details that no one would have known about, you know?
So, okay. I remember a few specific things from when I went.
Okay.
And like I said, this was before I was married, before I had much life experience or anything like that. And as she was telling me all of this stuff, I was just like, I don't know, you know, but some of it I did. So at that point in my life, I had a Chevy Blazer, and she said, there's a tall, handsome gentleman, but he would have been older to you. He's just appearing like young, and he's so handsome. She kept saying he's so handsome, you know, and all of this stuff. And I was just like, okay. And she said, I think it's like a grandfather figure. So growing up, I only really knew one grandparent, my pap, and he was in poor health when I knew him as a child.
Okay.
So anyhow, he said that he's not mad, but you drive Chevys, and he was always a Ford guy, but he can look past it. And, you know, so I was like, okay,
Yes.
that's very specific.
Yes.
And the way she described him was accurate. And then she was talking about my grandmother, and that grandmother I didn't know because she passed away before I was born. And she was talking about, I can't remember exactly what kind of plant it was. My dad would know. But let's just say that it was lavender or something like that. And, you know, she planted these bushes. She loved the scent. On and on and on, all of these details. I was just like, I don't know, you know. And she said, you know, it's a grandmother, on and on. I called my dad, and my dad is a skeptic.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, even living in the house that they live in with all of these experiences, still skeptical.
Right.
But he's a scientist, so, you know, there has to be a reason behind things, right?
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, she went on and on, and he got choked up, and he's like, my mom loved whatever this plant was.
Okay.
And she had a big bush outside.
Oh my god.
And all of these things.
That's crazy.
Right? And so those are those highly specific things.
Yes.
And I couldn't have even been carrying any of that information with me because I didn't know it.
You didn't even know her at all.
Right. So pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I was excited to do this one because I thought you had said that you had been before. So I was excited to see if your experiences matched up with my research. So
I can perfectly picture the path to the stump meeting. And it is very serene. You know, it's just kind of a gravel path, and you get to the clearing, and the trees are just kind of forming a canopy all around.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's hushed and quiet, and it really is a very peaceful place. Even the visitors there, you know, everybody seems to be a little like, what do I say, like have a reverential sort of vibe, you know. Everybody's a little subdued. Nobody's yelling, talking loud, things like that, you know, because you just walk around and there's little fairy things.
Oh, cute. And everybody's there for kind of the same reason, so they're respectful of each other.
It just feels peaceful, you know. Okay, so shout out to Jake.
Hey, Jake.
So Jake grew up in a 289-year-old farmhouse with a few hundred cattle in the Downsville, Williamsport, Maryland area. It's about 20 miles from Antietam Battlefield.
Wow, okay.
So when he was small, he said he thought he was around 3 or 4. He kept asking his parents who the man in the house was. Oh. They asked him a bunch of questions, and he described in detail from top to bottom a man in a blue uniform.
No way.
A perfect match for a Union soldier.
Oh, and he was so little, he would have no way of knowing.
Right.
What?
So they're astounded and a little creeped out, and, you know, but they moved on. When they were doing renovations to the farmhouse, they found mini ball rounds on one side when they added an extension to the house. And so that told them that this was an active fighting ground during the Civil War. And what was interesting is they found both Union and Confederate ammo.
No way.
So this was really,
crazy.
You know, part of the battle.
Yeah.
He actually gave me the address for this. I'm not going to put it out there because there might be some strange people who show up.
Don't be a weirdo.
Right. But he gave me the address. We looked it up on Google Maps. I saw the whole land and everything.
Oh my gosh.
So there's more. As he was growing up, he said his family would be sitting there watching TV or hanging out in the living room, and they would see a white figure come through the hallway and walk to the door.
No way.
They would turn to look, and the figure was gone. It happened regularly.
Oh my goodness.
Right? There's more.
Okay.
This farm has been part of his family for a while. When his grandpa was a young man, he was out on Skull Hill, and he was out walking around doing all these things, and he found Civil War reenactors. He ran back and told his dad, and his dad's like, where are they? They're not allowed to be there. And they walk out to tell him to get off the land.
No way.
No one was there.
Stop it. That is crazy.
Can you believe it?
They were that real looking that he thought they were just, reenactors.
So that makes me wonder, it could be residual. You're like the replaying of this tragic scene.
Yeah.
Right? But how wild.
Yes. I wonder too about the lady in white.
He said it was a figure.
A figure? Or a white figure?
Yeah, a white figure.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. He didn't tell me details about, if it was a man or a woman or whatever.
Okay.
But moves, and that's right. It could be residual too, just that movement.
Sure. I was just wondering, a lot of those houses in those areas were taken over by soldiers during the Civil War and turned into hospitals or whatever, and so it makes you kind of wonder the history of the what happened to that house during the Civil War, what went on there.
Right.
Well, also during the other 200 and whatever years.
Right. But the fact that it's so near Antietam, which was such a major battle, plus the fact that they found those ammunition rounds during the renovations.
Yes.
And now they're seeing all these figures. I mean,
that's
this
amazing.
is definitely...
Jake, it makes me wonder why you said no, you didn't know any spooky stories at the beginning. Also, Jake also is our maintenance man. So I'll be asking you some questions about it too. That's
Watch, he'll probably
crazy.
come with some other killer stories.
I hope so. Oh my gosh. Thanks for sharing that, Jake. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was just one of those sort of kismet things, Well, he's here and bored. I'm here.
Yeah.
Got some good ones. Thanks, Jake. And thank you all for listening to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Have you checked out our website, you2scaremepodcast.com? We sell all of our cool merch there, like these shirts.
Show him the back. Can you show the back? This is our fun collab shirt with sleepover clothing. Look, it has skunk ape on it. So cute.
And there's lots of Easter eggs and stuff. If you look closely at the details, every time I look, I find something new and exciting.
Yes.
And this is one of our other new shirts.
Yes. It says, "We were promised ghosts."
And it's supposed to be us looking so cute.
Yeah, which obviously we are.
With our shades. Also on our website, you can find all of these graphic tees. You can find coffee mugs, stickers, and so many fun things. But do check out this cool collab shirt with sleepover clothing.
Absolutely. Listeners, you can help support us by telling everyone you know about our podcast. Every new listener, follower, and subscriber really helps us grow.
Really. Also, please leave us sweet reviews and comments wherever you watch or listen. We love reading them so much, and we really try to comment back.
Yeah, we try our best. Leave us sweet nothings in our comments. Don't forget to check out our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast, or on Facebook at you2scaremepodcast, or on our TikTok at you2scaremepodcast. No spaces.
Also, it doesn't cost anything to like and follow us, and it really helps us. Remember to send us your own spooky stories for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scaremepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.